Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Data Structures. In this episode, we are going to learn the concept of queues. So queues are linear data structures and the data is stored in the continuous locations of memory. So let me show you an example of a queue. So this is a queue and these are the contents of a queue. And you must be asking me the question that why I have kept both the ends of the queue open, because it is a data structure where both the ends are open and in very specific way. So let me tell you how both the ends are open. So this is the opening part and this is the rear part, okay? And this is the front part. So we can always push the data from rear and we can always take out the data from front, or this operation is known as NQ, ENQUE, and this operation is known as DQ, DEQUE. So pushing the data and taking that data out. So this is the main application of queue. Now queue data structure is a linear data structure and we have already seen that, and I also told you that we have to store the data related to the queue in continuous memory locations in your main memory. Now programming languages support this sort of behavior using lists in Python or arrays in C and C++ and even Java. Okay, so we can use these data structures, lists and arrays to implement our own queue in all these programming languages. Now this is a simple queue. There are even many variations of this queue. So here we can take the data out from front and we can insert the data from rear. Now there is another type of queue which is known as DQ. Okay, so the spelling for that is DEQUEUE. So it means that doubly ended queue. Okay, and we can have a queue with two ends. So anyway, even our normal queue has got two ends, but the specialty of this doubly ended queue is that we can NQ and DQ data from both the ends. Okay, so suppose these are the data items. We can NQ and DQ both the data items from both the ends of this doubly ended queue. And then there is something known as priority queue. So here in the priority queue, priority is associated with the data items. So it means that suppose if I NQ an item, then the position of that item in the queue will be decided as per the priority of that item. Okay. So all the items are always arranged as per the priority. So this is priority queue. Also queue is known as first in first out data structure. Okay, so this is about priority queue, but normal queue is known as first in and first out. Okay, so if I say this is a normal queue, then whatever item gets in first, it actually comes out first. So it is FIFO, first in first out. So these are all about types of queues. Now in stack, we have something last in and first out. Okay, so we put the last item in and we get the first item out. So stack equals to LIFO, last in first out, and queues are FIFO, first in first out. Now there are various applications of queue, so let us see them. So one of the most prominent application of a queue is buffer. Buffer is going to hold all the incoming data in that, and then it is going to release that data as per the requirement of the end process. Okay, so we can have actually a buffer in our printer. Okay, so it is known as spooling. Suppose there is only one printer, and so let us draw the symbol of printer. So this is approximate symbol of printer, and it is connected to a lot of computers. So this is symbol for computer, let's say. Okay, and all the computers are sending their print jobs to this printer. Then the printer is going to maintain a queue of all the jobs. So first job comes, then it is going to process that job, and even this is going to be first in first out kind of stuff. So I'm going to say first in first out for printer. Then we also have network buffers, because we have a single computer and we have many computers trying to communicate with that. Or suppose this is a server, okay, and it keeps on getting a lot of requests. So it is going to maintain a separate buffer for serving all the requests, and all the requests will go to this buffer, and this server is going to handle all the requests one by one. So if the server is multi-threaded, then we can have multiple queues serving as buffers for each and every process. So this is how we can use the queues in the networking and printing jobs. And even in operating system, we have the kernel, okay, OS kernel, that is processing the jobs or processes. And we know about context switching. Context switching means the kernel is handling one process and it is keeping the other process in the wait. So for keeping that other processes in the wait, there is queue. And probably many times it is a priority queue. Based on the priority of that process, the process is kept in the queue. And the queue is with the lowest priority is going to be in the end. So this is how we can work with the queues. And basically, if you want to define a data structure for a queue, you just define it like QUEUE and an empty list or an empty array. So this is how we can define a queue. And then there are various procedures. We have already seen two procedures. The first one is enqueue, ENQUE, and the other one is DEQUE. Enqueue stands for inserting the data in the queue from the rear, and DQ stands for taking that data out from the front. Then there is other type of queue also. It is known as circular queue or circular buffer. So it has got locations like that. And the condition for this circular buffer for being empty is rear equals to front equals to -1. So this is the condition for this empty circular queue or circular buffer. So we have seen 4 types of queues, and we have seen the operations, and we have seen the applications. So this is how we are going to work with the queues. And from now onwards, there will be a lot of episodes on programming with the queues using various programming languages like C, C++, Java, JavaScript, and Python programming language. So please stay tuned to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. Thanks a lot for watching this episode, and do let me know if you have any questions or queries about queues or any other technical topic in general in the comment section of this video. Thanks a lot once again, and I will see you in the next episode. Hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of Queues with Python. This is very first episode of our series on queues with Python. And in this episode, we are going to see a method of creating queues with Python programming language. So I'm going to say class QUEUE. This is the class queue, and def init self comma capacity. So this is the constructor function, and self dot front equals to self dot size equals to 0. Similarly, self dot rear equals to capacity -1. and self dot q equals to none multiplied by capacity. Self dot capacity equals to capacity. So this is the init method. Now let us check if the queue is full, and def is full. Self return self dot size equals to 0, and let us check def is empty. Self return, okay, so is full is, sorry, I made that definition wrong. It should be self dot capacity, and this one should be return self dot size equals to 0. So it is going to return true or false, just like is full method. Now let us define the method to enqueue an item. So def enqueue enqueue, and it is self comma item. So I guess the spelling for enqueue should be enquue. Okay, and if self dot is full and then print full, return self dot rear equals to self dot rear plus 1 percent self dot capacity, self dot q self dot rear equals to item, self dot size equals to self dot size plus 1. So here we are incrementing the size, and finally I will just print %s enqueud enqueued to the queue. So this is all object oriented programming, and we are creating a separate class for our queue thing item. Now finally let us define the dequeue operation, and that is also very easy. Def dequue self, if self dot is empty, print empty, return, and let us define the case when it is not empty. Okay, and let us say print %s dequeud from queue and %str of self dot queue and self dot front. And let us say self dot front equals to self dot front plus 1 self dot front plus 1 percent self dot capacity. Self dot size equals to self dot size minus 1. And let us define a function to get the front of Q. So def Q front self is self dot is empty print Q is empty. And print front item is, and here you are going to say plus str of self dot Q of self dot front. Okay, and let us say def QUE rear self, and here I'm going to check if the queue is empty, and then I'm going to put the item in the rear. So let us see. We will just display the rear item self, and here let us say rear. So this is how we can check the definition of the entire queue. So this is a custom queue. Now we have to write a driver code. Before that, let us go ahead and execute this cell. Okay, now here not is, it should be if. So let us correct it, and it seems to have been executed. Okay, so it is executed. So now let us define a queue. Queue equals to QUE 30 Q dot EN QUE and 10. Similarly, we can just enqueue various items 40. Okay, so 20, 30 and 40. Q dot DQ let us say Q dot QUE underscore front, and finally Q dot rear. So if I execute this, this is the output. So 10, 20, 30, 40 and 10 is dequeued from the queue. Okay, and now front is 20 and the rear is 40. Or we can actually write it other way. So let us execute this entire stuff again. So here we are creating queue, and here we are enqueuing the items. And after enqueuing all the 4 items, we can see the status, and then we will remove an item, and then we will see the status again. Okay, rather than just seeing the status in the end. And if I execute this, so here the front item is 10 and the rear item is 40. And after I dequeued 10 from the queue, the front item becomes 20 and rear item becomes 40. So this is how we can perform operations on queue. And this is one way of defining the queue. So there are multiple ways we can define a queue using Python programming language. And in the coming episodes, we are going to have a look at all those ways to define a queue using different ways in Python programming language. So thanks a lot for watching this lecture. Do let me know if you have any questions or queries in the comment section down below. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel for such amazing episodes on Python data structures and other topics in programming. Thanks a lot once again, and I will meet you in the next episode. Hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of Queue Programming with Python. In this episode, we are going to see how to create a queue with linked list. So let us create a heading queue with linked list, and I will say drop down and execute it, and then I will say class node and def init self comma data, and this is the definition for the node for our linked list. Okay, and we are going to say self dot data equals to data and self dot next equals to none. So this is the node of our linked list. Now we are going to create a class to represent a queue. Okay, so we will directly represent a queue using a linked list, and I will say class queue, and let us define a constructor for our queue, and that is quite easy, init self, and we are not going to pass anything to this init. Okay, so I think that I have forgotten def, and self dot front equals to self dot rear equals to none. So this is the basic of the queue, and this is the constructor for the queue, and def is empty and self. So we are going to check here if the queue is empty, return self dot front equals to none. And similarly, we are going to write a method for enqueuing the data. So enquue, this is the enqueue operation, self item temp equals to node item if self dot rear equals to none. Here we are going to say self dot front equals to self dot rear equals to temp, return, and finally we are going to say self dot rear dot next equals to temp and self dot rear equals to temp. Now let us define the dequeue operation, and that is also quite easy. Def dequue, and I'm going to say self, and if self dot is empty and return temp equals to self dot front equals to temp dot next, and if self dot front equals to none, then self dot rear equals to none. So this was the dequeue operation. Now let us create the main driver routine for driving this entire code, and this is the code for the driver stuff. Okay, rear, and I'm going to say queue equals to QUE, and if I execute it, it is going to create an object, but it is also going to throw an error because we don't have any data in the queue as of now. We should have actually added the condition to check before printing the front and rear that there is no data. So we can even add that sort of condition, but as of now it is good enough. So I'm going to say queue dot enquue 10 and 20, and then I can just copy this thing, entire stuff as it is, and I can paste it here. So it is going to print the front as well as rear. Okay, so it should be QUE and rear. So let me copy this string from here and let me paste it for here. So I hope that you have understood why it was throwing error. It was throwing error because there was no data. Now it is not going to throw any error at all. It will say Q front is 10 and Q rear is 20. Now I am going to copy again this entire cell as it is, and I am going to say here 30, 40 and 50. And if I execute this, this is 10 and 50. Okay. And now we are going to dequeue the stuff. Dequeue operation happens in the front. So after dequeue operation, we are going to have 20 in the front and 50 in the rear. So let us see if our code is correct logically. DEQUE. And then I'm going to print front and rear. And if I execute this, we have 20 in the front and 50 in the rear. Similarly, we will execute this dequeue operation twice again. So we will have 40 in the front and 50 in the rear. So this is how the object-oriented queues work. We have used object-oriented programming with linked list in order to represent a queue here. And we have defined enqueue and dequeue operations. And we have also defined a method to check if that particular queue is empty. So I hope that you have understood the demonstration and the code. Thanks a lot for watching this episode. Do let me know if you have any questions or queries in the comment section down below. Thanks a lot once again, and we will meet in the next episode. Hello everyone. Welcome to this episode. In this episode, we are going to see how to create queues with simple lists in Python. So let me create a heading, queues with lists. And I'm going to choose the drop down and make it a markdown so it becomes a heading. Now let us define an empty list and name it as a queue. And let us append some data in this queue dot append. So we already have a method for appending the data for any list. 2, 3. Print initial queue, print queue. So this is the initial queue after appending 3 items. Now we are going to dequeue items from that queue, and that is also quite easy. Dot pop and 0. So this statement is going to dequeue items from the queue. So it is going to dequeue that item from the front of the queue, and it is going to return that item. So let us go ahead and dequeue the queue for 3 times like this. And now let us print the queue. So if I execute this, we are going to get an empty list or empty queue. So this is how we can simply use the list operations in order to represent a list as a queue, and then we can use it in our applications. So I hope that you have understood the concept and the code that I have demonstrated in this episode. Thanks a lot for watching this episode, and I will see you next time. Hello all. In this episode, we are going to learn a few more things about the dequeue in collections. So in the earlier episode, we have used it to implement a simple queue. Let us learn a few more operations. So DE equals to dequeue 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 2, 4. And let us print the index of 4, 2 and 5. So DE dot index of 4, 2, 5. And this is the output. Now we can insert the value 3 at 5th position. So DE dot insert 4, 3. So anyway, counting starts from 0. That is why 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is the 5th position. And let us print the DE. So these are the contents of the DE. So earlier we had only 2 occurrences of 3. Now we have 3 occurrences of 3. Now we can count the number of occurrences of 3 like this. Count 3. Now we can also remove the first occurrence of 3 with de dot remove 3. And finally we can print the de like this, and you can see one occurrence of 3 has been removed. So these are insert, index, remove and count functions associated with deque. Now let us see a few more functions associated with deque. I can append an item like this. We have already seen how to append. So let us say the contents of de. So we have now 2 occurrences of 4 in the end. So in total there are 3 occurrences of 4, and out of those 2 occurrences are in the end. Similarly, I can say append left, de dot append left 6. And if I execute this, okay, so I guess there is some problem. The problem is append left L is lowercase, and here we have the output. And here we can see that the 6 has been appended in the front. Now we can pop the item de dot pop, and let us see what item it pops. It is popping 4. So it is from the end. Now there is only one occurrence of 4 in the end. Earlier there were 2 4s. And we can also pop from the left, de dot pop left. So here we have the output 6. Now let us see the status of the de, and we have 1 2 3 3 4 to 4. So this is how we can use append, append left, pop and pop left operations on a deque. Now let us see how we can use extend, extend left, rotate and reverse operations. So I will just say de dot extend 4 5 6, 4 5 6, and let us print the de, and here we can see 4 5 6 have been appended in the end. So extend appends in the end. Now we can even run extend left seven 8 9, and if I execute this, it is going to extend to the left. Let us see the status of de, that is deque. Now we can even rotate the deque with 3 positions, -3. And if I execute this, let us see what has happened. We can see here 9, 8 and 7 have been appended in the end. Basically, they have been removed from the front and they have been appended in the end. So this is known as rotation. And we can even reverse this entire stuff, de dot reverse. And if I execute this, we can see that entire list has been, or entire deque has been reversed. So this is how we can work with the deque module in the collections in Python. So I hope that you have understood all the operations and my explanation for all of those. Thanks a lot for watching this episode, and we will meet each other in the next episode.